Welcome back, Pulling fans, for another edition of Outlawed Live. I am Ron Stone, your host and co-host Mike Idle. Mike, say something charming to the folks out there.
Well, hello out there, everybody. I'm trying to get the right graphic shared up here, but yeah, we're 1 week closer to the National Farm Machinery Show. We're 1 week closer to kicking things off for the 2026 season. Ron, you and I were just talking schedule in the background here before we got going. And, I mean, what an off season it's been with all the big news. But even just with the day in, day out stuff of what's the 2026 schedule going to look like for the Outlaws or this group or that group, it's an around-the-clock business, and it is exciting. But, you know, you texted me with a fun idea right before we got on the show here, and tell the folks about it. I think this is going to be kind of one of those fun ones tonight, Ron.
Yeah, we get to make our picks. Farm Machinery Show, as you mentioned, a week closer, 22 days away. I think I put on the intro there. So 3 weeks away from the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. Hard to believe it's almost here. But yeah, we're going to make our picks here tonight, Mike. We're going to see how good we are. We'll let some of our fans out there that watch every week, like Dick Blankenspore and Cole Lundahl and Tina and Eric Berger and Mark Willis and Ben Beller. And who else we got here? We got Case Conover. Got a lot of super fans out there. Well,
yeah, another good crowd tonight. I tell you what, we always want to say thank you to all these loyal fans that tune in every single week. You know, the show's got a good following. We got some of the best out there. Ron, got a question for you. I've been kind of, running this over in my mind. Now, our picks here, and this, I'm going to write them down. This can be kind of one of those, you heard it here first, folks. Are we picking which outlaw we think is going to win? Because obviously we know our outlaw guys are going to be bringing home the hardware. Are we going to pull our outlaw pick and then maybe a non-outlaw pick, or are we throwing off everything and just saying
we're going straight up picks here?
Straight up picks. So no coming in and saying, well, here's my outlaw guy, here's my non-guy. Here's your Wednesday night, Thursday night, etc. winner. Okay, that's interesting. So this is a heads up. Run what you brung rally.
Now we're going to keep score with our crowd out there watching from home, right? The Ben Bellers and the Cole.
Yeah. This is hold us accountable, folks, because this is going down. So, Team Ron or Team Mike, who you got? Who's going to walk away with the higher average finish here? Yeah,
let's jump in. By the way, if you have any questions, any comments, throw them out there. We are working on that schedule, as Mike said. Still a lot of moving pieces right now. I know I've sent out some tentative schedules to pullers and told them, the ones that, need to request vacation time and time off and such. But it is still a tentative schedule. So we don't want to post it up out there for everyone just yet. There's still some moving pieces. We got a few new bites on some pulls that may happen. We still have 2 more conventions left. We have the Nebraska convention this weekend. The Missouri convention in 2 weeks. After those conventions are over, start looking for that schedule to come out there. So we were doing the Illinois convention over the weekend and was going to do the Minnesota convention in Minneapolis. But, of course, those that has their ear to the ground and watches the news knows that Minneapolis wasn't the safest place to go. So I elected to stay home from the Minneapolis convention this year. So
I saw my first ever real life, and Ron, I'm a small town person, Bevier, Missouri, 700 people here. I don't experience the news very often, but I did go to an urban area in the past couple of weeks, and I did see some people who were very passionate about something all lined up together and voicing their opinions. So I have now witnessed these type of things firsthand. So yeah, maybe a good choice. That being said, Minnesota, I've always kind of felt that feels like a place that's kind of ripe for outlaw territory. We have a lot up there in northern Iowa, right on the border. That feels like a place where, should we go there someday, I think that'd be a really nice fit.
We're right there, real close. Where we go in South Dakota is real close. And some of the pulls we do in Iowa, Rock Valley, for instance.
Yeah, no kidding.
Super close to the state of Minnesota. So, yeah, I can't rule that out. And, unfortunately, we weren't able to get into the convention this year. We made plans to, but the political climate there did not was not ideal to send anybody up there. The weather was not any good as well, so the weather sucked, the political climate sucked, and it was just safer for Kyle to stay home. Kyle was headed up there, so
Yep.
So let's dive into this here. Let's dive into it. So we're going to using the Farm Machinery Show's website, which let's see what I just normally Google NFMS and it comes up.
Yeah. So we've got Wednesday night. I've got session 1 brought up right here. You go on into the National Farm Machinery Show website, and then you click on tractor pull and click on puller schedule. So February 11th, Wednesday night. And Ron, I will say, and I've said this for a while, this is one of my single favorite sessions in all of pulling. I love this lineup. You've got modified 4-wheel drive trucks. Anybody that watches this show knows you and I knows this is a class that we love. Super farms. Right. I think a class that the Outlaws have some of the best in. Modifieds, and then, of course, finishing things out with the big 6.5-inch turbocharged 10,000-pound pro stocks. Dollars to donuts, pound for pound. I know it's just Wednesday. I know it's just the opener, but those 4 classes are some of my 4 favorite classes. I think this is one of the best sessions you see anywhere in pulling.
Of course, the modified 4-wheel drive session there, the kind of the guinea pig session, the test class for the entire week there. So any sled resets, it usually occurs during that 4-wheel drive class, unfortunately.
And this is, I'm not making any statement other than pointing out what anybody can go back and watch. Each of the past 2 farm shows, and it's just luck of the draw, the farm show has started off with the modified 4-wheel drive truck class, and it has started off with a sled reset. Each of the pullers that has kind of gone out the back door has reset the sled. And as fate would have it, right at that reset, be it truck number 1 or truck number 2, they were outlaw trucks over the past.
Usually the first hook is outlaw. It seems like and
it just, we know how that goes. You just throw the number in the hat, and it is what it is. But that's always something that our guys have said, boy, if we could have got that motor cooled back down, or, we felt that we really had something, still had a strong showing. Last year we put a guy number 2 out there on Wednesday night. So,
or in the case of Joe Claypool 2 years ago, when he jumped off the throttle because it was way too light and then broke the truck and was unable to come back. So and then that was a 2 they reset the sled both times that night.
Right, right.
Because it was which one was it? Was a Rule 19 or I can't remember which one it was out of that camp that hit the sand pile super hard right after Claypool.
Ike Zaring, hook number 2. So Joe got out of it, and then Ike drove right through it. And I remember that because I had interviewed him back when I was working really more for Beer Money Pulling Team than I was working for Outlaw at that time. And I was at the farm show doing driver interviews, and Ike was the first person I interviewed. And we were joking, we made one of those like, oh, just bend it and send it. We want to touch the sand pile. Well, hell, we want to drive through the sand pile. And we were kind of like, oh, that's what's going to happen tonight. And I'll be darned if that wasn't exactly what happened. And I'll tell you, Ron, I was sitting up there and I was like, I hope I didn't encourage that. I felt a modicum of guilt with that, but he was fist pumping and he made every highlight reel. He was not nonplussed by it.
Yeah, that was 2 resets right off the bat there in that class. But let's go ahead and move forward. James Schumacher checking in from South Dakota. Marty Samuelson, de facto mayor of Ravenna, Nebraska. Let's make our picks right now. Modified 4-wheel drives. Making our picks for the National Farm Machinery Show. 22 days, 3 weeks from tomorrow night. Here are the contestants, the pullers in that class. Steve Boss and Southern Belle. Derek Brown in the high-class grass, outlaw puller. Steve Clem's Radical. Ben Ellis is Benjamin. Rob Foster is Simply Red. Justin Grace with Just in Time. Macon, Missouri's Cody Lewis and Fired Up. RB Moeller's Red Rock. Larry Peterson's Profab Geared Up truck. Lane Thornton's Ramrod. Murray Thornton's Stumper. And Jake Zaring's Rule number 19. Mike, what is your pick for the modified 4-wheel drive class?
So the internet is about to be entirely not shocked. Entirely not shocked. You got to represent the home team from time to time. Right down the road, just about 5 miles from where I'm sitting right here, is that Lewis Body Shop, Cody Lewis, fired up. Is he a buddy of mine? Yeah. Has he hooked with the Outlaws, over the past couple of years? And do I love that? Yes, absolutely. But there's also some proof in the pudding right there. This is a man with 2 National Farm Machinery Show wins to his credit. The first time he's been back with his new truck. I know Cody, he's a perfectionist. I bet you he remembers as much as he's forgotten about that truck. I think Cody's got a big red X on his back, and I think he's the man to beat on Wednesday night.
Going with the hometown favorite there from Macon, Missouri. I'm going with Lane Thornton, Ramrod.
The Ramrod, not the Thumper.
Nope, I'm going with Ramrod. That truck has impressed me throughout the summer. A really good track there in Louisville. I think he's going to be able to get that power to the ground. I think Lane Thornton is going to take one home back to Iowa.
I was between Cody and Murray when I was actually last time I spoke with the Lewis family. They said that they pay as much attention, if not more attention, to the Thornton team out there than they do almost anybody else in 4-wheel drive truck pulling. They say that the Thorntons are, oftentimes don't get the accolades. They don't get the Rob Fosters and the Larry Petersons, and you hear about them as much. But, they're firm believers that the Thorntons are the toughest pullers out there. The thing about Lane and Murray, those 2 trucks, they don't miss their setup very often, Ron. You don't see them bounce a lot. You don't see them get out of the throttle and take it back to the 100-foot mark. So I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of those last names on Wednesday night.
See, now the other Thornton truck, he did come on pretty strong. I think towards the end of the season, you kind of seen him Thumper ramping up and getting better and better as the season went on this last year. So don't count those guys out. So I'm picking Ramrod from the Thumper, from the Thornton brothers there. Ben Beller making his pick. He's going for Foster, Rob Foster.
Rob Foster, here's what I tend to think. I think Rob Foster likes big, long tracks. I think Rob Foster, of course, he's just as good as anyone at the farm show. Of course, he won at Farley. He's got the pedigree. I think those drivers that get into it early, which I think is more of a Lewis, more of a Thornton out there. Ron, they're all at the farm show for a reason. Would you be shocked if any of them won? I think the answer is no.
No, not at all. Cole Lundahl, here's his pick. He said he wouldn't be surprised to see either Thornton trucks in the top 3, but he's going to go with Derek Brown, high class grass out of Oklahoma.
I would love to see it. That would make for the best story for us to come back here on, report on. First time at the National Farm Machinery Show, but not the first time that truck has been there. That's got the makings of a cool story.
And that's another truck that improved towards the end of the season. He started laying down some good passes late in the 2025 season. So good pick there, Cole. Let's see. Get those picks in. Mike's keeping score over here, so he's writing all these down. Oh, Derek's watching. Derek said, let's go. Let's get it done. Said he's been doing a lot of work.
They're one of those, they watch this show regularly. And I was actually going over the list a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of broke it live. They said, no, actually, that they were on the list. There was a different entry at the time, or the list wasn't complete. So that story kind of developed right here on Outlawed Live as they got their bid to go to the farm show. So we're happy to see, 3 regulars from the Outlaws, and a couple others who have pulled with us. Like I said, the fired up truck, the Southern Bell truck has pulled with us in the past. So 3 of our perpetual members, and then some guests as well. So we're going to have a strong showing on Wednesday night.
All right. I've not seen any more picks here. So everybody else is being a little bit quiet. So we can get those picks in as long as we're still live here. Let's move on to Super Farm, 9,300 pound Super Farm tractors and your contestants in that class on Wednesday night. Oh, Marty Samuelson, he's says Thumper. He's going with Thumper. Murray Thornton.
If I didn't pick Cody, I'd be picking Thumper.
So 9,300 pound Super Farm on Wednesday night at the farm show. Leo Butts and Press On. Bill Casey's Whoopie Maker, Trip Downing and Homegrown. Casey Fritz's Twisted Deer. The Outlaws, Jared Johansson, Blaze of Glory, John Deere, Brad McFarland, and Untamed, Shane Maston and Thumpin' Pumpkin, Brett Roberts, and Spanky's Toy, the New Holland tractor. Let's see, the Wicked Whitetail of Jeremy Roberts, New Attitude tractor of Gary Sinovich, Jacob St. Marion, 4th generation, and Brad Woods Thunderstruck. So those are your super farm entries on Wednesday night, the opening session of the 2026 National Farm Machinery Show. Mike, I guess you picked first. I'm going to go with a dark horse here. Got to go with the dark horse, my buddy. Jared Johansson, Blaze of Glory.
He's my X Factor pick. No doubt about it. I like his driving style. I talked about this on one of the shows where you were home with the family over Christmas break. He is an aggressive driver, and he is one of those that, oh, wait, I didn't see that flagman because I had a good pass going, if you know what I'm saying. When he's in it and when he's feeling it, he's not getting out of the throttle. If the stars align, I think that is an awesome X Factor pick. Here's what I'm seeing in this, that whoopee maker. Let me pull my list back up over here where I can see it. Bill Casey, if I remember right, he won the overall farm show 2 years ago in 2023. Gary Svink in New Attitude has been a podium finisher, if not a winner, and he's been a perennial finisher in the NTPA over the past couple of years. I've seen...
Are you still deciding here, or is that what you're doing here?
I'm playing for time, Ron.
Right.
That Wicked Whitetail, he pulls at the Pullers Championship. That Thumpin' Pumpkin, he's really improved. I don't know. Roberts also, I'm going to say this, of all the Outlaws, Roberts has the most kind of recent history on that track with the Super Farms. He's been there a lot lately. That New Attitude tractor, I've been going back watching a lot of Full Pull Live. Of course, saw all the Outlaw pulls over the season, been trying to watch all the other pulls. New Attitude, he's a strong finisher. I'm going to go with him
here, Mike. You got to.
I'm going to go with the New Attitude tractor.
All right.
And I'm this close to getting fired because I'm now 0 for 2 on picking Outlaws as an Outlaw announcer on the Outlaw show. So I got to get my act together here, Ron.
Well, Kurt Van Beek, he's going with Johansson. Cole Lundahl going with Johansson.
I think I love his driving style on that track. I think he's going to surprise himself with how well he does.
Marty Samuelson going with the Spanky's Toy. Ben Beller going with Wicked Whitetail. We're just going for first here. No pressure trying to get all the top three. We're just going with number one.
Now the next class I've already thought about, and I'm gonna redeem myself. So we'll scroll down here, but there's a storm brewing in the next class, and I don't think anybody sees it coming.
7,500-pound modified tractors. Contestants are Brett Berg, the Rank Seed Moneymaker, Lane Bollinger's Money Pit, Steve Bunnage takes a licking, Bill Leishner's Dirt Slinger, Ricky Long and Long Motorsports, Cameron Neves and Cotton Candy, Donald Nelson's Bullbuster, Johnny Payne and Limitless, Ricky Rose and Giddy Up, Brandon Simon Says, Doug Theobald's Full Blown Wicked, and Wayne Sullivan's Kentuckian. So I made first pick this last time, Mike. So it's your turn to go first.
So before I make my pick, I've got a question for you. I'm curious, or I want to put the fans on this radar. First class, I stayed home to my roots, here in Macon County, Missouri. Now, Ron, you've got roots in that Southern Ohio, Northern Kentucky area. I wonder if you're kind of eyeballing this list, kind of looking back at some of your roots here. Here's the storm that's brewing at the National Farm Machinery Show for the modified class. A man who's been there a lot but hasn't been there on a modified in quite some time. I think that he's going to channel the days of the old blue modified, but with his new one, Donald Nelson Bullbuster has kind of a swan song or a coming back party for himself. I think he walks away with the victory in the mods. That Bullbuster machine is mean. You put the third motor on it. He knows how to drive it with that setup. He's been there before. He can drive anything with any setup. Watch out for Donald. He is my pick in this class.
Yep, I agree with everything you just said. I mean, what you're saying about my roots back there. Yeah, I got to be thinking about Wayne, Papa Wayne Sullivan. You got man's been down that track many times. But I'm going to go with an Outlaw tractor. He made it to the finals once before.
Sure.
I think he can do it again. I'm going to go with Cameron Eves and Cotton Candy.
Yep. Cameron, one of my good buddies in the Outlaw, one of the first Outlaws I ever met, and a guy who it's right there. I mean, he was right there 2 years ago, got second place. He knows that track, had some breakage last year. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see Cotton Candy. I think it's going to be one of the two of them, but I think it's Donald's year this year.
Yeah, that tractor, yeah, he could definitely get it done. He's been down that track a few times himself, so
now it gets interesting, Ron. Now we go to
you have all these votes in here.
See, we seeing the Donald Nelson and the Bullbuster over here. Ben Beller's got him. Yeah, there's a lot of them over here voting for him. Cole Lundahl says Donald. Marty says Donald. I don't know. Feels good, Ron. How are we going to do the pro stocks?
Joe Stranley says the Kentuckian. Case Conover is Cotton Candy. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, let's move on now then to pro stock. Do we have any Outlaws pulling in the pro stock division on Wednesday night?
So, and we're picking session winners, not overall.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have to pick just because these pro stocks, everyone keep in mind, they're going to take the top three, all weekend long, and then they're going to grab them, at the end. Yes, Ron, we've got one driver driving in the pro stocks. Doug Sabatka is driving one of those, like the Klaus tractor, the Fendt tractor, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's not on Wednesday night though.
Not on Wednesday, but I think
you are correct. Yes,
I think he's our only Outlaw that we have in the big pros. Of course, with us being the 5-0 pros, I don't know that any of them jumped up other than Doug pulling in that tractor at some point. But let's see who's going down the track on Wednesday night.
Yep, Sam Brown with Green with Envy, Tim Kane and the Red Gambler. Nick Elshinger, Dream on Deer, Brian Deppen and the Haymaker, Daryl Foles is Tinker Toy, Russell Hildebrand's Loose Cannon, Mike Linder and the Linder Brothers, John Link, Revelation Pro, Conley Medding's Bullwagon, Jason Miller and the Cruise and Mule, Grayson Shelton and the Cutting Edge Pro, and Tim Verwald and High Limit. Those are your Wednesday night pro stock entries. Yeah, look at here. Case Conover, he's got his entry in already. Fellow Texan, he's got the Bullwagon.
Yep, that was honestly on that list. That was the name that most jumped out to me when I was looking at it, because I think everyone still remembers when they adapted that pro stock a couple of years ago. They jumped up from the 5-0s and they put it in with the big 6-5s, and he won a session with it, qualified for the finals, dumped all the oil down the side sheet of it, and that's kind of what spurred his jump from the 5-0 class into that big class. I would say I'm going to go ahead and grab Conley right there, and he's going to be my Wednesday night pick, because I think that there's a lot of confidence to be built off of that right there. If not Tim Kane, because Tim is just a bad dude, man.
John Stranley's taking the High Limit tractor of Tim Verwald. I'm gonna go with Grayson Shelton, Cutting Edge Pro.
Yep.
For Wednesday night pro stock winner.
Was that the one that won overall last year? Was that the Shelton tractor that won the whole thing? I don't remember which one it was.
Jeez, you're asking a lot for me to remember a whole year ago at the Farm Machinery Show, Mike. I if it was an Outlaw puller, I would remember it, but honestly, I do not recall. Ben Beller's going with the Linder Brothers entry.
And he says that I've got my Medding tractors backwards. And I'll put it this way. It was one of, you very well could be. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was one of the Meddings is what kind of had that great pull a couple years ago.
Oh, gotcha. Cole Lundahl says he wants to see Shelton put it in the sand pile again. So these comments up there. I'm getting behind just a little bit. We'll get those votes in here. If somebody wins other than you or I, Mike, we'll have to send them a hat, an Outlaw hat or a T-shirt or something here.
You know, you used to do a nice little promotion where you'd send them a hat from time to time. You'd put a question on here, and whoever guessed right, you get them a hat. So I agree. We might have to, if you get a couple of them right, Ron's going to send you a hat. I'd send you one, but I don't have a lot of Outlaw hats floating around. So
Ron, I don't have a lot right now either, so I need to get some hats. Got a few programs, but those might be gone soon too. So maybe we can nab some at Farm Machinery Show, give a few of those away.
Nope.
So that's Wednesday night. Let's see. IH guys, it'd be nice to see Jason Miller do good with the mule. Talking about the cruising mule, I'm assuming there. Mm-hmm. So let's go to Thursday, Mike.
We got Thursday right up here, the February 12th. Limited pro stock, the 4-1s, a class that was at one time synonymous with competition in the Midwest, competition right here in our territory, Ron. The Outlaws, Missouri, Nebraska, heavy hitters. This is a class we see a lot of in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, let's run down the list here. Jason Bull and the Dr. Deere, Gary Barrett, high stakes horsepower out of Nebraska. Jason Bordeaux and No Common Sense, Adrian Cox and Hickory Hooker out of Missouri. Nick Gallett's running in the red. Dean Holicky in Killing Time. Colby Lane out of Missouri in the Bad. Chris Lear out of Wisconsin with the Badger Deer. Kevin Lindstrom's Hyper Harvester. Patrick Payne, Bad to the Bone. Craig Raderman and his International 5488. And Bryce Ricklett's Red Revolver. That's your Thursday night limited pro stock lineup. So let's see. Chuck Hobbs checking in. Good evening, Case Conover. Who won the Case tractor for 2025? You're going to find out on January the 30th, Case. Somebody did win it. They're in the state of Ohio. You're going to find out on January 30th.
Oh, it's a good place for it to go.
So we got Outlaw fans all over the country.
Yep.
So limited pro stock on Thursday night, Mike. I'm gonna go with my boy Gary Barrett, high stakes horsepower.
Gary Barrett, high stakes horsepower. He's got two that are going to stand in his way. So first of all, I'm going to agree with you. I'm also going to pick Gary. Gary was really about one hook away from a points championship this year. And what a story it's going to be. Was that Chris Lear, Badger Deer, was that the guy last year, 2024, that came down out of Wisconsin and played in our sandbox for about half the season and just tough to beat? I'm thinking of the right tractor, right? And then Dean Holicky came down. I think he pulled with us at Wisner. Can't remember if we pulled at Rock Valley. And, of course, he was the big winner at Farley.
Yeah,
I think Gary gets the job done, but I think he's got two huge bullets to dodge right there. And it might be one of those kind of like Kurt was talking about earlier, might qualify on Thursday and then get around him in the finals. But I'll go ahead and grab Gary because he's another one of those that goes there fairly regularly. He's been to the farm show a lot recently, and he was one bump of the sled away from a points championship this year.
Yeah, getting a lot of votes for high stakes horsepower. Ben Beller, high stakes horsepower. Cole Lundall's going with Killing Time, Dean Holicky.
It's a tough tractor, and he's a good driver. Dean is one of those guys. He doesn't, and I feel like he could drive anything. I mean, he could put a horse and buggy out there and find his way in a fourth place finish.
So Marty Samuelson and Case Conover both going with high stakes horsepower. Gary Barrett. So puts pressure on Gary. He better do us proud over there.
He's kind of due though, because he's been out there a lot recently, and I think he can job done.
Yeah, you see the votes coming in here. So we'll move on to the next class. We're already halfway through the show here, so we're going to move on to Super Farm once again, a Thursday night session at the National.
This one, I've had this one lock, stock, and barrel under key. I've had this one picked for months, but this one is the one I feel actually most confident about of all the sessions. if I was writing checks, I'd go ahead and sign this one. But Ron, take us through our drivers here.
Look at that. Case Conover. He's a Case guy, but look who his vote's for. He's got Alan Andrews. So that's my pick as well, Case. Let's go with
100%. I don't even need to think about it. I watched him. He was at a lot of the polls that I did this year, Ron, and I took a good hard look at what this guy has done to get to his, 8th national point championship. He doesn't miss. The guy with his little black book, he's never forgotten anything about any track he's ever gone to. If you haven't seen this tractor run, if you're outside of the outlaw sphere, you only see him at the farm show, watch out, because Alan Andrews, this is my most confident pick with the Dakota Deer.
He's not off the mark very often.
No.
I'll tell you that. He's put Ben Beller down for a vote for the Dakota Deer as well. Chuck Hobbs checking in here. He's going to go with Illinois' Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, the checking out tractor, that's an NTPA Grand National Points champion at I don't remember, it's last year. I don't remember if he got it this year. But Matt Casey, Totally Exposed, Brad England, Raging Mule, Brooke Ferris, Assorted Nuts. That's another perennial player. Brian Gunderson with the Gunsmoke, Brandon Jacoby, Black Stallion, Justin Johnson, Screaming Norwegian, Wayne Lemereau in the Fear the Deer, Jeff Martin. Now that Fear the Deer, that's a Joe Bush tractor, isn't it? I think that's a Joe Bush Ag Repair sponsored or built machine. Of course, he's one of our sponsors in the Outlaws. I think that's one of his. Josh Miley in the High Maintenance, Jeff Martine in the Hustler, Dan Schulte in the Binder Express, and Jay Smith back, Bleeding Green. Ron, he's got a tougher road than I thought.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say, I thought Johansson had the stiffer competition and Roberts had the stiffer competition, but Andrews has his work cut out for him between Josh Miley and a couple other those in there, but I still feel good about it.
So Ben Beller, Cole Lundahl, Marty Samuelson, all going with the Dakota Deer here. AJ says, watch out for those Michigan super farms.
They've got some good ones up there. They absolutely do. Michigan is super farm and semi country. That's always what I think of when I think of the state of Michigan.
So let's make some noise here. Superchargers, supercharged, super modified, 2-wheel drive. The list goes like this: Irv Clark in the Wild Side, Dustin Corliss and Whippet, Brian Grifka in the Apple Pie Express. The Apple Pie Express, is that the Studebaker truck? Mike, do you remember?
I'm trying to picture it, and I know in my mind I'm picturing the Alcohol Addiction Retapped. That's the one that's coming to mind. It's a white NTPA truck. I can't picture the Apple Pie truck off the top of my head.
Cameron Pascal's High Cotton. Jacob Shepard, the Alcohol Addiction Retapped. Matt Seitz, Buckeye Hooker 2. Donnie Sullivan's Big Stick. Lisa Tatum, the Parts City Auto Parts Express. Will Teasley's the Apex. Gary Unger in Overtime 2. Michael White in Addiction. And Jacob Wiley's Easy Money. So, Mike, you go first this time.
I'm trying to walk the balance between only being a hometown outlaw announcer and not making too many dark horse picks. So I told myself when I looked at this list, I said, don't just grab Dustin. But as I look down it, I'm having a hard time convincing myself that it won't be Dustin. And that's not to take away from some of these other pullers. I would almost argue, Ron, that he was a better fit in the Whippet truck than he was in his T-Bucket. This was a hand in a glove for him this year. He came out, he started the season with a win at Ravenna, and then that was just a really, really nice development in 2026. I can't not pick Dustin. I don't see anything on the list that tells me it's not going to be his pull to win.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The High Cotton, Cameron Pascal, he got his first win this past season. On the outlaw circuit. Donnie Sullivan's Big Stick. He's been down that track many times. That would be the one
that I looked at for a long, hard time, but I'm liking Dustin.
Yeah, I like Dustin there too. He's due there. He's had some bad luck there.
I agree.
Put me in the Whippet category there.
Well, we're outlaw announcers for sure. Our past 3 picks are the exact same, and we're batting for the home team all of a sudden. But truly, that's a straight up pick, even as it is.
We got to drink beer with these guys in the pits after the show. So you know what I mean? if you go with an outlaw hook and I go outside the box and pick an NTPA hook or something, I might get shunned in the pit area afterwards, Mike. So we got to be careful here.
But and as much as we would sit here and like to say, oh, well, we're only representing our brand, a lot of these picks, I think the average outside pulling fan or analyst would agree with us. I think that speaks to the caliber that our organization is performing at right now and some favorable matchups. Alan Andrews, you'd be crazy not to pick him. The season that Dustin had in that truck, I don't see it going any other way. So it should be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
Ben Beller choosing Dustin Corliss and Whippet. Chuck Hobbs going with Donnie Sullivan's Big Stick. Marty Samuelson going with the High Cotton out of Spur, Texas.
I would love to see that because Cameron Pascal I find to be one of the kindest and nicest human beings I've ever interacted with. When he not only grabbed his first career win at Wayne this year, but in doing so, he also had the Wiffles winning distance of the night, the furthest distance pulled by any puller. One of the feel-good moments of the 2025 season. Beautiful truck, great pulling family, great people. That nothing would make me happier than to look down there and see Cameron walking away with a session win.
Yeah, Cole Dahl confirming, yes, the Apple Pie Express is that Studebaker body pickup. That'd be cool to see some variety in that class there. Some old sheet metal. Case Conover. All right, Case, you got to make a choice. Is it going to be Whippet or High Cotton? We're picking the winners here for each night. So
he just says it's going back to Texas. Of course, the native of Lytle, Texas, right there says the Lone Star State gets the job done.
Cole Lundahl's going with Corliss and Whippet. So good deal. Good deal. That's super modified 2-wheel drive. And then the 10,200-pound pro stocks on Thursday night. Ryan Coates dealing with fire. Greg Elsing's T8 Tomcat. Travis Coons in the Trailblazer. Alex Betherell in the Faster Horses. Clint Medding in a Bulletproof Buck. Brad Moss, Money on Black. Julia Ray and Mac Daddy. Brandon Simon, Loud and Heavy. Reese Shelton's Cutting Down. Doug Sabatka, Straight Out of Line. Andrew Verwald's No Limit. And Craig Wilderman's Die Hard Deer. What's your picks out there? Case Conover going with Texas. And a Bulletproof Buck, former Outlaw pro stock puller there.
Ron,
I'm it would be easy to pick. Yeah.
Easy. You say easy to pick, and then you second.
I mean, it would be easy to pick. The general favorites that you normally get in this class, but man, you just don't know. And I can't count out my boy Doug Sabatka. This guy's a genius, and
he is.
Heck with it. I like to go with the back of the pack dark horses here. Let's go with Doug Sabatka, Straight Out of Line.
And that is that the Klaus? I think that
is it a Klaus or a
I think at one point in time that was that lime green tractor, but I could be way off right there. So I don't know. We need to see. We need to see what Doug's up to. What's Doug doing in the big pros? What do we got going here?
He texted me just a little bit ago. I invited him to come on the show. He's in Europe right now for work, he says. So he's got something going on in Europe.
No.
So we'll get him on here, hopefully before the farm show, find out what's going on here. I can't remember if that was a Fendt tractor or Klaus or what that was, Mike. Like I said, if it's outside of Outlaws in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I Googled it like 2 weeks ago and it came up with that Klaus tractor. It wasn't the black Fendt. The black Fendt was like the Never Given Up or something to do with hope or something like that. And then there was that lime green Klaus tractor. And that's what came up when I Google searched it. But right here, no, it's and I'd heard this too. No, it's an 8R now. Someone had also told me that or something along that line. So same tractor, different tin work possibly.
Okay. Ben Beller going with the T8 Tomcat. Chuck Hobbs go with Brandon Simon, Loud and Heavy. I was going there.
That's the kind of the forbidden fruit, the tempting apple. That's the, I'll put it this way: when Full Pull has all their live games available, I bet that one will have the best odds on it.
Yeah, but he's a good driver. I will give him that. Brandon Simon's a good driver,
no doubt about it.
Marty Samuelson going with Die Hard Deer. Greg Willerman. Cole Lundahl says Clint Metting with Bulletproof Buck all day long. Russ Dostal chiming in. He said Clint Metting every time with the Bulletproof Buck.
On this one, Thursday night's going to be ladies' night. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't know that she grabs points championships, but she grabs wins. This back beer money pulling time, I had to do a research project for them, and it was something like she led the NTPA like 2 or 3 years in a row with individual session wins. Julia Ray, Mac Daddy, that girl is a mean driving gal, and there's a lot of wins left in that tractor. There's my Thursday night pick.
Let's see. AJ says the Die Hard Deer and Straight Out of Line would be identical tractors. IH guy says Reese Shelton and Cutting Down.
Yeah, that was the other one. I think them or Simon, you really are the ones that's going to be hard not to pick them.
Yeah. But let's go to Friday night.
Limited Pro starting things off again.
9,500 Limited Pro stock. Let's see, Danny Barker, the Rhapsody tractor out of Illinois. Vermont entry, Andre Bordeaux, the Secret Weapon. Mike Balsama out of Minnesota with limited edition. Colby Counts' Dixie Deer. Garrett Cavan out of Nebraska with Magnum Force. Jerry Martin's 5020 John Deere. Tony McDonald out of Wisconsin with his Case IH 230. John Meyer Jr., Meyer Performance. Dave Novak, the Mean Farmer out of Howes, Nebraska. Jacob Oles, Just Add Dirt. Darren Raderman's Full Bore out of Illinois. And Dustin Ruth's Too Ruthless out of Missouri. Your pick for 9,500-pound Limited Pro stock, Mike.
Give me Dave. Give me Novak, Mean Farmer. There's just nothing I don't like about the setup of that tractor. There's nothing I don't like about the way he drives it. He has the experience at Freedom Hall. That's not going to be his first time there. He doesn't get riled. I think he's going to perform big on a big stage this year.
Yeah, hard to count him out. I mean, Case Conover, he says the Mean Farmer. Cole Lundahl going with Magnum Force, Garrett Cavan.
Yeah.
Ben Beller going with the Dixie Deer. I like Dave Novak, but just to keep it interesting here, I'm going to go with Danny Barker, Rhapsody out of Illinois.
So
Friday night Limited Pro. I'll put Novak in the number 2 spot there on Friday night.
If it's the kid I'm thinking of, and I'm fairly certain it is because I met him in Farley at the Pullers Championship, so I want to go back up there and kind of highlight that Andre Bordeaux, the Secret Weapon out of Swanton, Vermont. Ron, do you have any idea who that is? I'm 90% certain on this. Because I met this person, if I just don't remember his name, but I think it's got to be the same person. Do you? And I know it was a 4-1 that he had. Do you have any idea who that is?
No, I do not.
That would be Gardner Stone's nephew.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They came all the way out of Vermont, pulled at the Pullers Championship. Okay. And I got to chatting with him, and he said, "Oh yeah, Gardner's my uncle." So the General, one of the most notorious modifieds to ever go down the world of pulling tracks, and I'm pretty sure that's who that is.
Are you keeping score here, Mike?
I've got it. You said you wanted the Rhapsody, the blue one, right?
I'm going with the Rhapsody.
Yeah, we're good. Got it right here on my paper.
Okay, Jerry Johnson, he agrees. He's going with Rhapsody too. He said all day.
I like Jerry Johnson's spelling of it better. I think that should be when we. I like that one. That's what we're gonna. Oh man, having fun at the old pulling track with Ron.
IH guy, he's going with John Meyer on the Meyer Performance R&D. So good deal. Love it. Let's make some noise again. Super modified 2-wheel drive. Mindy Nelson Brown, the Little Whip. David Carlton, the side piece. Barbara Cochran and Walk the Line. Roger Deathridge out of Missouri with Taking Up Space. Tanner Fitzsimmons with Country Heat. Mark Ford's Trimmer. Chad Mayhill, two-timing. Dale Nelson, Forever Hooked. Chase Richardson, last year's winner, and Suffering Sanity. Jason Sullivan's Corn Burner. Cole Zychek of the Texas Two-Step, and Jonathan Payne and Rampage. Wow. That's yeah, I may have to bide some time here on this as we look at it, Mike.
I see this one. I actually feel pretty good about. I think here's my prediction on this one. You're going to see several trucks nosing the sand, and then you're going to see 2 trucks that have the potential to climb the pile on this one. I think this is a 2-horse race as far as I look at it. The guy on top of the world right now, super modified 2-wheel drive trucks, is Chase Richardson. You can't deny it. Just, what he's accomplished as of late, back-to-back NTPA points championships, everything he's done. But the other guy, and I knew he was good, but it was a whole different level once I saw him, is Cole Zychek.
Yeah.
Just a legend. And what I saw out of him Friday night in Farley, what I saw out of him a couple of times this year, Rock Valley and other places, I think you're going to have a good old-fashioned Mexican standoff shootout between these two. But I'm going to give it to Cole just because there's something about the way he gets things going on the top end of the track that I really, really like. And those Zycheks, they are.
He's got it done there before as well. So, but the same can be said.
So has Chase. So
the same can be said about Mindy Nelson Brown. Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing with Mindy is Mindy hasn't been in the seat of a vehicle since the farm show last year. Yeah. Not to take anything away. I think Mindy, just like riding a bike. But I think the last time she won, I don't think she pulled the entire summer before that. So throw that out the window.
I don't know if it matters. Yeah, my computer keeps freezing here. There we go. So let's see here. Try to get all these votes in. Yeah, Ben Beller says Texas Two-Step. Mike says Texas Two-Step.
Yeah.
Ace Conover says Little Whip. He's sticking with Texas. Cole Lundahl checking in. He says Tanner Fitzsimmons. He says he thinks it's going to be another year for the rookies here. So could be. One thing about Tanner Fitzsimmons, he's not afraid to let off that throttle, I promise you. Wow, those engines they've got over there can take some RPM, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Matt Samuelson going with Chase Richardson. Jeremy Tyndall. He thinks David Carlton, the side piece. Good old side piece going to win it. I'm going to go with Cole Zychek.
Okay.
The Zychek boys, father and son, these guys, they know their way around a 2-wheel drive pickup, how to get it done.
It's so impressive. I met him this summer. You just shut up and listen to him, which is not a skill of mine to just not talk, but it's just, you just watch the way they do business. And it's obvious that, 14 national championships for Whitey for a reason. And Cole's right there with him. I think Cole's got 6. That pick I feel pretty good about.
Let's move on to the duel of the fuels there. Super stock diesel / alcohol tractor. Always a fun class.
Now, Ron, I don't, you'd think as much as we've announced, I'd know where you stand on this. Are you a spark plug guy or are you a smoke blower when it comes to this class?
Man, I kind of root for the smoke. I really do. Okay. In this, a lot of times, I do like the alcohol tractors, but I don't favor one over the other. Let's put it that way.
Spoken like an
I see the smoke as the underdog. Okay. In the duel of the fuels. So let's go down the list here. Mark Vinegar and Warrior. Terry Blackburn's Extremely Armed and Dangerous. Steve Berge, Lock and Load. Cody Cheezick, Considered Armed and Dangerous. Kyle Halland in the Black Tornado Revived. Jeff Hotham and Fully Loaded. Brandon Hunt, Living a Dream. Bill Keener's Bambi. Kent Payne and the Super Rooster. Colin Ross, Triple Bypass. Travis Schlawball, the Bone Twister. And John Strickland on the Gallet Tractor. Mike, your pick.
Well, I'm a spark plug guy, but this is a stronger, I think pound for pound, you've got a stronger set of diesels this year. One thing about the farm show, they've gone back and forth each year since they've done this. It's been an Alki winner. It's been a smoke blower on this one. You know, I'm going to go a little bit old school here, and we're going to go back. I watched a lot of the slow ride tractor growing up as a kid. And that was a tractor I always really liked. This is a man who's won a lot. I'm going to go old school. Terry Blackburn, Extremely Armed and Dangerous.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So lock that one in, Mike. IH guys going with Colin Ross, Triple Bypass, as well as Case Conover.
I think that's kind of like the Simons. I think that's the sex appeal is to grab that one.
Yep. Case Conover picking Triple Bypass as well as Cole Lundahl. Ben Beller going with the Bone Twister.
This one might be the hardest one we've had. I'll be honest with you. This one's going to be easy to get stumped on.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go Schlawball. I'm gonna go with the Bone Twister.
All right. You know, he's a fun dude. I like the way he drives that thing too. From Marengo, Iowa, the birth town or the hometown, the original hometown of Jason Schultz. The only reason I know that is because anytime someone talks about Travis Schlawball, he always makes sure that he puts his little moniker on there too. So both of them, they're from the same town originally.
Let's go to Saturday, the day session here.
Day session.
No,
we didn't get our big pro pick in for Friday night.
Eston. Oh, we didn't get it. Okay, Eston Backhouse says Extremely Armed and Dangerous there for Super Stock. So, yeah, you're right, Mike. Putting the cart before the horse here. Let's back up. Thursday night pro stock. 10,200 pound pro stock. Your drivers, Brandon Coates, Fueling the Fire. Mike Connie's Mac Nasty. Carlton Cope in the Warpath. Melvin Deppen, Deer Tracks Attack. Matt Allen in the Glutton for Punishment. Chris Hoyt, Nutcase. Lance Little in the Anger Management. Kevin Masterson, the River Rat. Brett Myers, Injected Funds. Brett Parrish and El Nino. Kevin Schmucker and Get Her Done Deer. Braden Schrammick and Youngblood. I'm gonna lead us off here. I gotta go with Masterson, man, the River Rat.
Yeah. What do they call it there at Freedom Hall? Is the house that that it's not that's where they have their success is the River Rat and the Tinker Toy. That's kind of their big place right there. I'm going to go hometown again on this one. Because if I pick two hometowns, maybe we're likely to get there. And now, are they from my hometown? No. But when you farm 30,000 acres, I said this to someone the other day, when you farm 30,000 acres, you're neighbors with everyone. And I have talked to Dennis Schromick one time, and he said, yep, we own ground right next to where you guys own ground. So that makes them the whole Show Me State's hometown pick. And we're going to go with the Youngblood with that orange team out there.
Let's go back to Superstock. Marty Samuelson went with Triple Bypass there. So let's see. Ben Beller going with the River Rat. Case Conover going with the River Rat. Cole Lundahl goes with El Nino. Well,
I think that's a good pick, Cole.
Beautiful tractor.
That is an awesome piece of equipment. That's one of those. Go look at that one up close sometime, folks. That one's really, really pretty.
As I'm back going with Carlton Cope.
It's another one of the best drivers in all of motorsports.
Ben Beller says the house that Don built. Marty Samuelson going with the River Rat as well. IH Guy says Carlton Cope and the Warpath. All right. So we're down to one
Saturday at noon. Valentine's Day. I just realized this. It's a good thing we're doing this. Valentine's Day. Someone's going to have to, remind us to send our ladies some flowers or something right there while we're going to be at the farm show.
Mike, put a reminder on your phone, would you? Just go ahead and do it right now.
Did I remind you last year? I think it's your turn to remind me.
I don't know about that. That's my mom's birthday, so it's easier for me to remember. So.
There you go. I was in, Louisville last year, so I sent one back home through Amazon or whatever, and pajamas was a strikeout. So in case anybody's curious, that was not the golden ticket. So
pajamas.
Yeah, I thought she's comfy, center like a relaxation deal. That was not as good as the chocolates, roses, sticks. Don't try to get too far out of the box, gentlemen. So while you're one of the 17,000 in Freedom Hall with Ron and I, keep it simple for your ladies back home.
You can't go wrong with fresh roses, fresh flowers.
Yeah. What we got going on Saturday, the super stock diesel trucks, the only time they're going to hook, much like their modified four-wheel drive counterparts. Take us through them, Ron.
Let's see. You got Carolyn Armistead in the Dixie Ram, Terry Biggs, Deadpool, Cliff Carnes and Carnage, Kent Crowder in the Scheid Diesel entry, Van Hazley's Rock Hard Ram, Trenton Ingram and Scheid Diesel, Xander Lee in the Kong truck out of Texas, Calvin Miller running in the red, Keith Witt's American Pride, and Jeremy Yeager's Trencher. Mike, who you picking?
You know what? I like the Lee family. I just do. It's one of those like Dustin Corliss. I'm trying to find a reason not to pick them, and I can't find it. Give me Kong. And who's driving? Xander's driving. He's, I tell you what, he's just as good of a driver as his dad out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Kong machine.
In case Conover going with the Rock Hard Ram. Ben Beller going with Xander Lee and Kong. Matt Sandage checking in. Case Conover sticking with the Texas entries there with Kong. Put me down for Kong as well. A new Kong. Yeah, he sent me some pictures of the new Kong coming out. They have 3 of those trucks now.
Now, I'm assuming, though, the one that they're campaigning at the farm show this year is the one that they ran their season. Oh, we don't know which it could be.
No.
What's what was their second truck that they got this year? What was it called?
You asked me too fast there, Mike.
Because I was thinking it's not like American Pride or something like that. Because Keith,
no, it is. It has the American theme, though.
Isn't it? Is it One Nation?
One Nation.
One Nation. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew it was patriotic in that degree. Boy, that One Nation truck runs just as hard as their Kong truck. I'd like to see both those in there.
Yeah, they have 3 of them now. Marty Samuelson going with Kong, Ben Beller going with One Nation Dodge. One Nation, but One Nation's not in there. So I think he was trying to help us remember there.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, One Nation.
Thanks, Ben.
Mean running truck. Cool dude. There's nothing cooler than walking up to him and smoking a cigar while waiting to hook. He's in the staging lanes, and you expect to see cigarettes, chewing. Everyone's got their own thing, but puffing on a cigar, there's something just bad to the bone about that. Waiting to drop the hook into the hitch. I was like,
you go back to 1970s pro stock drag racing. Bill Grumpy Jenkins had the open face helmet and the cigar was in his mouth. He was chewing on a cigar while he was jamming gears all the way down the track.
I thought, man, I can support what you have going on here, my friend.
Ben Beller didn't. The new primered up gray Kong like a test hook at Cloverdale. I didn't see it, but he sent me a picture of it and said they were testing it at Cloverdale this past weekend. So you are correct, Ben. That's when I got the picture. So let's move on to Light Pro. Of course, with the Outlaws, we call it the 540 Light Pro class. Yep. Nobody there representing this year. None of our Light Pros actually sent their applications in. For Louisville, you have to send in an application to be considered. So
Look
American.
how far out east this is, Ron. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin. Only 3 states represented. A lot of Pennsylvania and Ohio. This is not our sandbox. Well, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, we'll just have to go through it here. Kurt Afdal with Weekend Mistress, Noah Allison, the Train Wreck, Kevin Banyan and Forgiven, Ray Bellick Jr., Rage and Red, Alan Cook and Black Thunder, Greg Farringer, Smoking John, Scott Hulsman and Rumor Has It, Corey Frank and High Standards, Jeff, let's see, McCloish.
That would be what I would go with.
Demented, Kyle Paulson and Deer Addiction, Tylen Reynolds and Rare Breed, Matt Smith, and Fast Forward. So you got Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. All represented here.
That way, east.
Yeah,
a lot of east. Somebody out there in internet land, point out the Ford to me. The Fords have been dominant in this class for the past 2 years. I don't remember. I don't see these tractors very often. So somebody raise their hand and say, Mike, that one's the Ford, and that's the one I'm picking, Ron.
I think Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, that Fast Forward, I believe, Chambersburg, a lot of Ford tractors coming out of that part of Pennsylvania. So
Cole is agreeing with you and backing me up, says it's Matt Smith with the Fast Forward. That's, yep. There you go. I picked that one.
Okay. Case IH guy says Alan Cook on Black Thunder. Ben Beller says Rare Breed. Tylen Reynolds. Eston Backhouse says Alan Cook and the Black Thunder. Cole Lundall's going with Matt Smith, Fast Forward. Case Conover, Fast Forward. Wait a minute, IH guy. Oh, he was just saying which one is the Ford there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he already made your pick.
He was helping me out. The Fast Forward is the Ford. That's who I've got.
And Marty Samuelson says the Deer Addiction. Deer Addiction. Yeah.
This looks like 12 tractors that need to come on over into Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and come spend a couple of weekends with Ron and I. We would love, first of all, we want to invite every one of these guys because we would love the numbers. And come pull in with us a couple of weekends. We would love to see. Ron, how about 12 540s at the drop of a hat? That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. We would throw a party, my friend.
Yeah, come on over. That's I'll pick all of you. I'll pick all of you, and I pick you to come out here pulling in Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, South Dakota, Texas.
Yeah, I gotta pick something different here. Everybody's going with 2 tractors pretty much. Let's go with Kevin Banyan's Forgiven. I'm going with that one. How about that? Clayton Hill's going with that one too. Forgiven.
You're clairvoyant.
All right, let's move on to the next class. 6,400-pound lightweight super stock. You get all these votes in here, Mike. Marty Samuelson said Deer Addiction.
Got my little paper on here.
All right. I appreciate you keeping score there. Lightweight super stock. Terry Blackburn, Armed and Dangerous, Excessive Force. Brian Bowles, Alter Ego. Cody Cheezick, Considered Armed and Dangerous. Mark Filiatro and Burning Daylight. Bobby Jones, Field Sobriety. Rex Keene and Letter Buck. A Gallant Tractor of Brent Payne. Brandon Phillips, Straight Jacket. Larry Phillips, Extremely Insane. Craig Smith and Whiskey's Fine. Adam Spiegelberg and Detonator Black. Marcus Weddleston and Gunpowder and Lead. I got to go with the Missouri Tractor, Brian Bowles.
Yeah, he's a fun one. I like the Alter Ego. That's a good pick. I'm going to pick someone who, I'll just be honest with you, I consider a friend at this point. A nice gentleman who has pulled with the Outlaws on occasion, and just a super nice human being and a great driver. Bobby Jones, field sobriety. It's a good tractor. It's a tough running tractor, and just one stand-up nice guy.
Yep. Good guy. Jacob, he's going with Terry Blackburn, Case Conover with Alter Ego, Cole Dahl with Alter Ego.
There's a lot of good ones in this. I mean, there's Philip. Both Phillips tractors are great. That Weddleston was really right there. I think he had some regional championships and was maybe even a national championship here in recent memory. Obviously, the Cheezick and Blackburn team. This is another one of those classes. Just about anybody. It's not going to surprise me if they walk away with a win.
Ben Beller. Let's see. He's going with field sobriety. Cole Dahl with Brian Bowles. H guys going with Terry Blackburn. Evanston Backhouse with Bobby Jones. Marty Samuelson with Bobby Jones as well. So field sobriety getting a lot of votes here. Last class of the day session on Saturday. Pro stock tractors. Brett Hackstadt, the 618 Motorsports tractor. Corey Hoyt and Stress Case. Mark Lawyer and New Era. Esden Lemke, the New Generation Plus. Chance McGrath and Last Chance. Josh Martin, Think Green. Jason Round and Industrial Force. Rob Russell's Workhorse. Danny Schmucker and Rampage. RJ Simon, Loud and Heavy X. Paul Stone and Roland Stone, and Russ Yoder and Extra Butter. Mike?
Loaded. That is a loaded afternoon session of pro stocks right there. Heavy hitters. Ron, do any of them stand out to you, jump off the page as a clear winner here? I think there's about 5 or 6 of them that are just.
Well, if I'm going to go with experience, I'm going to go with Rob Russell and Workhorse.
I think that one really stands out to me. Jason Round, here's an interesting bit of trivia. I could be way wrong here. I think this is 3 years in a row he's pulled the afternoon session. And this is always kind of a disadvantage, or so they kind of say, because they have to pull Saturday day and then turn around and pull again.
Hope you don't break it.
I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think Round has pulled the day session each of the past 2 years, and I think he has won that session. He's either won or qualified, and then – but it seems like his name keeps popping up again and again. That being said, I've already got a comment over here that I kind of, this is where I'm going. Esden Brackhouse says, Esden Lemke, got to pick my name. Esden Lemke won Farley pull. Esden Lemke has really impressed me every time I see him live and in person. I'm going to keep things rolling right there. That's going to be my pick, is the Lemke machine.
Case Conover says RJ Simon, Loud and Heavy X. Cole Dahl for the Workhorse. Ben Beller and Rampage. IH guy says Rob Russell on the Workhorse. Esden Backhouse says Esden Lemke. Marty Samuelson says the Workhorse. Is Lemke from Wisconsin? Is that what he's asking here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you pick? Are you picking the Workhorse? Or are you picking Robbie Russell?
No, I picked the Workhorse.
I got a guest appearance coming in here. Braxton, who's your favorite pro stock?
What's it, John Deere one?
Well, all of them. What's your favorite pulling tractor in any class?
Cotton Candy.
Cotton Candy, the modified. Do you think Cotton Candy's going to win at the farm show? You think so? All right, I'll be down in a second, buddy. Got some sons that are getting a little antsy. Like I said, we got the sickness running through the Idle household, so it's a little bit skeleton crew at my house tonight. But he's came up here to say hi a couple times tonight. That's my boy. He loves pulling. Says he likes John Deere
Right.
Pro Stock and he likes Cotton Candy overall as his favorite number one puller out there.
That's his favorite puller in any class. Huh?
Hands down. Yep. I still remember the story. It was the very first year that I announced in Wisner up there with you, Ron. And he and I went into town to get breakfast together that morning. And I said, who's going to win tonight? And he said, I think Cotton Candy's going to win. And Cotton Candy did win that night. And that was kind of cemented it for Braxton right there. So that made him his favorite right then and there.
Can you still hear me, Mike?
I've got you. You're frozen on my screen. Can you still hear me?
I got you. You want to go ahead and take us out, buddy? I don't know what's going on. Maybe my internet or something, but you can go ahead and take us out.
All right. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Picks are in National Farm Machinery Show. Got them written down right here. Good, fun audience tonight. Thanks for participating, putting your votes in there. Folks, stay warm wherever you are, and we will see you again 1 week from tonight. Outlawed live. Mike Idle, Ron Stone. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.
The farm of Kyle Stepanek. Top dog right now. Here comes your number one tractor in points. Brady Gosler out of Ute, Iowa. Spare time. Too close to call. Now look at that chicken over there. Look at time points champion just a few years back. Craig Ulmer in sweet pace.